Hi, everybody. This is Eric Tipan, Managing Editor of Zig Wheels Philippines, and this is a very special edition of Editor's Sessions. Today, we're going to be talking to our friend from Mitsubishi Motors Philippines Corporation, specifically about your Mitsubishis. Today, our guest will be Alvin Dalida, First Vice President for Marketing and Sales Division. Alvin, good day, magandang araw. I know you're in the U.S. Where specifically in the U.S. are you right now?
Hi, good evening, Sir Eric. No, currently I'm in Pennsylvania. It's a small town or city called Shippensburg. It's a university town. So I've lived here since 2005.
Okay, so just a brief background. Alvin, you were visiting your family, and then in the middle of your visit, you got lockdown was declared here in the Philippines and even in the States, so nobody's flying in and out anywhere. For the benefit, little public service for the viewers of Zig Wheels Philippines. What's the status now? I mean, how do you know of any other families currently stranded right now in the U.S. and when are you guys going to be able? I mean, based on U.S. protocols, health and safety protocols, when are you guys going to be able to fly out?
Actually, I was supposed to fly back as early as May 18th. Ah, sorry, April. April 18th, but my flights kept being canceled. So the earliest I could fly back now is in June.
Mm-hmm.
So again, as we were talking earlier, it's actually a blessing in disguise because I'm able to spend more time with my family here. And I was actually supposed to go back to the US April 4 pa. But when President Duterte announced that they will lock down Manila March 19th, so I had to rush and buy a ticket going back to the US. So I'd rather work from home here rather than work from home there.
That's true.
in
At
the
least
Philippines.
you're with your family.
Yes, and I have better internet here.
Faster. That's true. That's true. Especially in the Philippines when everybody's using the internet, everybody's work from home right now. Okay, I know a lot. There are a lot of Mitsubishi owners right now concerned. We are already, at least Metro Manila and Laguna, it's already in modified ECQ. And I believe, siguro nakikita mo on Facebook, a lot of people went out already over the weekend and will continue to somewhat, normalize their schedule and all that. Before we jump into that, let's backtrack, go back to a little, to the beginning of the lockdown. How has Mitsubishi Motors Philippines Corporation, or MMPC, how did you guys contribute during the beginning of this pandemic?
Well, actually, I think everyone was caught by surprise with the sudden declaration of a lockdown. So even us, we only had like 2 days to prepare on what to do. So when it was announced in March 17th that March 19th would be the last day that everyone could go around, so we started telecommuting already. So March 17th, we didn't even bother to go to the office anymore that week. So all of us were calling each other, doing face-to-face, Skype meetings on how to handle the situation. So the main important thing that we had to do was how to maintain the plant facility, because the longest a manufacturing facilities has been shut down was like 10 days. And this one was projected about 15 days. So even our Japanese counterparts are a little bit worried because the equipment maintenance is needed. So that was the first thing that we had to consider. And of course, the safety of our employees. We requested everyone not to report anymore to the office and make sure that everyone stays safe. With regards to our employees, all the government required support were given to them. And we advanced some of their salaries, their mid-year bonuses, so that they could cope up with the non-working days. And they should have some monetary funds to support them during this lockdown period.
Was it hard to transition to work from home environment? Because obviously, nobody was prepared for something like this.
Yeah, actually, it is very hard. Honestly speaking, a lot of people think that it's easier to work from home, but honestly, you get to work more when you're home because you get to look at your phones more often, and then you parang you can't separate your personal life with your work anymore because your home is your work environment.
That's true.
But in my case, since I got to see my family, it's a good, it's advantage, it's advantageous, and I think this is going to be a new normal, which is what they're saying. So I guess that a lot of people will start learning how to work remotely and more efficiently. But again, I love going to the office. I like working in an office environment. So it's something that's very new to me. And I think it's going to be more emphasized in the coming future, because right now Zoom, all of a sudden I haven't heard about Zoom. Now, oh, we have Zoom. Before I
Everybody's
was only
zooming.
yeah, everybody's zooming. I just hope they improve their security features.
Oh, may news about it's getting hacked and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, UK Pico, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
So that was one thing. So again, I was only familiar with Skype. So Microsoft is coming up with Teams. So I think it's the future. I think we're looking at the future.
Well, speaking of the future, what's the future now, at least for office operations? Did you guys open up? It's already May, at least in the Philippines, it's May 18th. It's Monday morning, Monday noon,
Yeah.
actually. Did you guys
Yeah.
open up today? How many people are in the office? What's the situation? Is it 50%? 3 days off, 2 days in? What's going on?
We had our meeting last Friday just to see what we could do with this in this coming MECQ, the modified ECQ that was proclaimed last week. And actually, we appreciate the modified ECQ because at least now we can go back to work. A lot of our people are actually anxious or excited to go back to work, despite there are still fears about the virus because there's no what you call this. We don't have vaccine available yet. So what we did was we had to comply with what was imposed by the government, which is the 50% workforce requirement in our offices. We also tried to implement social distancing. A lot has been given to us so that we should comply with this social distancing. For a week's time, we're requiring our staff level to at least work twice at home in the office, and then 3 days at home, especially those who have their own laptops and computers at home and internet connection. But unfortunately, of course, in the manufacturing setting, that's quite different. But the good thing is in the manufacturing setup, we might be starting operations by mid-June because of the priming of the equipment. So it would take some time to recalibrate, check all the equipment, and then manpower. So social distancing will be totally implemented in terms of workspaces. Before, in a Japanese setup, tables don't even have what you call this barriers. So you can see people everywhere. Now they had to put protection on left and right sides and even in the front. So now you have your own small cubicle just to impose, just to implement the social distancing that is being required. Even to the point of your break times, you need to bring your own utensils. You need to bring your own lunch. No cafeteria for the meantime. Eat at your own desk. You can even wash your own dishes at the same time, because that would cause people to group together in a small area. So a lot of things will be implemented to make sure that the safety of the employees are at most being monitored.
A big question here, Alvin, is are you still going to be able to find your desk when you get back? Hindi ba nagbago yung layout ng office and everybody got shifted around just to spread out the tables and the employees as well?
Well, actually, in our office kasi in BGC, we just moved in BGC 2 months or 3 months ago. No, it's an open seating siya. So you can sit anywhere you want.
Oh, okay.
Kaya wala kami permanent desk sa office namin. So with that, we made the sample layout that everyone should sit one seat apart from their desk. And with the 2 days, 3 days work from home, we have enough space to spread out most of the people in our office when they start reporting tomorrow.
So tomorrow ang start ninyo? Tuesday.
Tomorrow for BGC, Santa Rosa started today.
Today.
Because BGC, they had to, again, make some revisions on the table setup para to ensure lang yung social distancing natin.
Now, at the beginning, you guys lent out vehicles to frontline workers. What other, assistance you provided to people working the front lines?
Most of our support was in the city of Santa Rosa, well, basically because that's where our home base is. No, we lent out 2 L300s to the government, which was being used to transport any medical supplies or goods that are needed to be sent to areas where that is needed. We also provided water jugs to be distributed to all the hospitals so that they could provide clean water in the areas where, especially those where there are people being detained or what you call quarantine. And we also gave some beds, like folding beds, to provide for any possible areas for quarantine facilities that may be needed.
Now, you mentioned earlier that manufacturing plant will start June 15. Were there workers affected? Are there going to be displaced workers? How will manufacturing, when it starts, how many, the workforce, how much will be there? Will there be delays as well? Babagal ba yung pag-produce ng kotse because of all these safety and health protocols?
Well, definitely output will be affected because if you only have 50% of your workforce, definitely the daily output will be also reduced. With regards to how the manufacturing facility is going to adjust to that one, unfortunately, I'm not very familiar on what they will do on that side. But as of now, everyone is going to be paid as required by the law, and everyone is going to be reporting to work as soon as we go back to normal.
Everyone's coming back.
Everyone's coming back. Everyone's coming back. Yeah. So hopefully things gets better, and of course we're looking forward that things will be better in the coming days.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of your customers are happy to hear that. Now, speaking of your customers, what are the adjustments at dealerships? Are they open starting today? What's it going to look like? What they have to do before they get into a dealership?
Well, for our customers, again, safety is our main concern. We don't want anyone to be infected while they're in our showrooms. As early as May 1st, when some of the regions have been from ECQ, transition from ECQ to GCQs, some of them have already started operations. Again, we emphasize social distancing. And then the main guidance that we're following is basically what the DOH is trying to implement, and the IATF. Safety precautions like temperature setting. So I would like to apologize in advance to our customers who are going to the showroom to please bear with us. Like we would require them to have face masks until such time that the government say it's no longer required. But face-to-face meeting, we would require all our customers to come in with face masks. Limitations of people that could enter our showrooms. We're going to spread out our transaction tables more apart, like at least 6 feet to 9 feet apart, limiting the number of vehicles in our showroom to give more space for people to walk around and make sure that they don't get too close with each other. Limitations on the entrance and exits, sanitizing all the equipment, making sure there's hand sanitizers available, alcohol, and again, even to our employees, limiting the dealers' employees is limiting their rotation in terms of salespeople, mechanics, and back-end office personnel. So a lot of precautions are being made. It might be inconvenient at a certain point, but again, it's for the safety of our customers and our dealer partners as well.
Now, did you guys extend any warranties, vehicle maintenance, PMS type services as well, yung mga nag-lapse na during the quarantine?
Definitely. I think it's just fair for our customers to still be covered under the warranty during after the quarantine period. Like most of them, it would have been extended by at least 60 days. Even the PMS preventive maintenance services, actually within 60 days, even if you miss it within 60 days, it won't be a big deal because your vehicle could still cope up with it. But again, the main factor is that we've extended all the warranties and service needed within that period that the quarantine was implemented.
Now, alam natin, there's been supply chain disruption globally. So for
Yes.
people na they have spare parts to change, repairs that need to be done. Right now, what are you looking at in terms of, kunyari, papasok mo yung kotse mo, you need like a fuel pump. If there's going to be shortage, gaano katagal ang intayan and all that?
So far, we haven't experienced any major delay in terms of parts availability. We have enough part supplies locally. And then when China actually was locked down, we didn't have any parts that were affected in terms of manufacturing supply. So I think on that side, we're a little bit lucky. So our customers shouldn't worry about any parts issues or after sales issues on their vehicles during the quarantine, even after the quarantine period.
Now, looking at it in terms of sales and marketing, what do you see as the impact of this pandemic, at least locally in the Philippines, for MMPC?
In terms of marketing, there will be a shift in terms of where to advertise nowadays. Marketing wise, even targeting would be very difficult because apparently during the quarantine period, we didn't want to advertise any product at that time because I find it very insensitive to push your product during this time of crisis. So we were trying to promote more motivational advertisement, and mostly it was done through digital. So we've been focusing more on digital advertising in the past 2 months, hopefully to reach out more, especially information on how to protect yourself, how to maintain your vehicle, any information related to the automotive industry during this time of crisis. So marketing-wise, it will be very interesting, especially considering that a lot of people might change their priorities in terms of spending in the coming few months. So for us, we'll still be focusing on our strength, which is the Expander and then the Montero Sport. Again, you cannot forget the G4, which is a basic car. And I think a lot of people would consider, hopefully, to buy vehicles because public transportation would be a risk.
That's true. That's true. Aside from the fact that it's been drastically reduced.
Yes,
the number of
agree.
vehicles or the number of PUVs out
running
there.
Yeah.
And
then the
risk
seating capacity is also reduced to half. So I'm not sure how long would that happen, but again, transportation would play a vital role in the coming months, or probably in quite a long-term basis as well.
So what you're saying, Alvin, is mostly if you want to reach out to customers, especially next 6 to 24 months, you're going to be reaching out to them more digitally because of the changes in the situation, the current market.
That's one thing that we're currently analyzing recently. In terms of TV advertising, most people are plugged into the news now. So trying to be updated. Radio is also one thing that we're looking at. But digital is something that we see more and more that is growing. And it has more reach, I'd say, when it comes to the traditional media.
And especially now that, people won't be as enthusiastic to go to dealerships to test drive because now of the chance of catching the virus. They would look more to the internet for information about specific, like for the Expander, the G4, maybe reviews, cons and pros, advantages, disadvantages of specific models from the comfort of their own home. So these reviews are going to be vital. These digital avenues are going to be important if you want to reach out and get your message across to customers.
Yeah, definitely. Again, most people have their mobile phones nowadays, and I think the Philippines has the most, one of the highest digital. Although our internet is not really that good, our services are poor, but a lot of people can cope up with what we have, and again, it's very convenient with digital
True.
advertising and digital sales. You can place your order, you can make reservations, you can set appointments through the internet or through the web using your phone, using your laptop, because I would say 50 to 60% of everyone's time is in sitting in front of a computer
That's
or
true.
looking at their phones. It's either you're looking at Facebook, Instagram. There's a new one that my kids are very TikTok.
TikTok, that's right.
Yeah, my kids are into it. So what are you looking at? We're watching TikTok. So everything's just very fast when it comes to technology nowadays.
Now that you mentioned apps and all that, are you guys going to be in the future going to be able to offer the opportunity for customers to buy a G4, an expander, a Montero Sport via an app, or have schedule a service, schedule a test drive via an app?
Actually, that is the direction. Is to come up with an app to improve our website, to be able to place orders, reservations, set appointments, uh, anything related to the vehicle. Purchasing a vehicle online is something that we need to work with our partner banks, because apparently there are still some regulations that we need to review if that could be actually done, because apparently we are not, our banking system is not yet that fully automated to go through that direction. There would still be 50% manual, 50% automated side, but it's not yet like here in the US. You can buy a car to the
To an app.
website, to the
Oh,
internet, make a reservations or something like that. So we're heading towards that direction, and I think it will be coming soon, especially now with the new normal,
exactly.
that people don't like going out, they won't like signing tons of documents. So I think the bank is also looking into that as in the near future.
That would be super convenient. Can you imagine like an MMPC app? Then you pick your
Mm,
color, you pick your trim, you pick the variant,
mm.
and then have it delivered at home. That's definitely something I'm sure a lot of customers would love to see.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's the future, and I think it's coming. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to product launches and all of that, are you going to be doing it digitally, especially in the near future?
Well, actually, we had two postponed product launches. One was the introduction of the Expander Cross, the SUV version, which was supposed to be launched last March. But unfortunately, with the lockdown, we had to postpone it. And then later on, we had to cancel it because apparently, no people, we would like to avoid, again,
Mass
a lot of
gatherings,
people going into one place, so mass
right?
gatherings. And we also launched the Strada Athlete, the 4x4 and the 4x2 version. So again, we were planning to do some all events for those two models, test drive events, but with the current condition, again, those were set aside and later on canceled. So as you mentioned earlier, it will be launched digitally. So we're preparing for that in the next 2 months. So if you need
Sorry.
more information, check with Mark. He has the schedules on that. So we'll be launching the two models digitally as well.
So back to
Although
back
they're already, yeah, although they're already available in the market,
the
but
market, right?
we just want to do what you call
Formal.
this, the formal launching for the two products.
Now, have you projected a decline in sales for 2020? What are you looking at? What
Yeah, well,
numbers?
yeah, 2020 was supposed to be a banner year, no, for the automotive industry. They
That's
were
true.
projecting 500,000 sales. But prior to the start of 2020, there were a lot of I would say, setbacks that we've experienced. During the last quarter of 2019, you had the earthquakes in the south,
That's
in
right.
the Mindanao area. January, Taal.
Right.
And then February was the start of the COVID virus in China. And then March was the lockdown. So things have turned 180 degrees from what we were expecting. So we already lost almost like 3 months in terms of, we're heading 5 months now on the calendar year.
Mm-hmm.
For us, we work on a fiscal year. So actually, we lost 2 months already. So April, May, and June, it will be a little bit shaky. So definitely, we're looking at the market to be down this year compared to last year.
Mm-hmm.
Some are looking at a projection from 20 to 30, at the most 40% decline. But we're hoping that things would turn around soon. Apparently, we have a lot of OFW people who came back, and OFWs are very vital to our industry as well. The service sector, the tourism area.
Mm-hmm.
So those are sectors that we're currently monitoring as well. Hopefully, the government would be able to do something to help those go back to their feet.
When do you see the market bouncing back? Is it 2022? A lot of projections, if you watch the news, 2023, 2024. What do you see, at least in terms of the Philippines? When are we at least gonna get back to 2018, 20, or early first quarter, second quarter, 2019 levels?
That's a very tough question to answer, actually. For the past 2 months, kasi if you're looking at our sales, we've been April was basically zero dahil wala nga, no? And then March was only half a month, so it was very difficult to predict. 2 years, 3 years might be a good
2023.
a good gauge, yeah. But of course, in our case, the sooner the better for us. So as soon as they find a vaccine, I think everyone's projecting that a vaccine could be developed within 12 to 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 to 3 years might be a right projection.
Now, any message before we wrap it up, Alvin, to Mitsubishi owners out there? What do you want to tell them? The situation right now, and how can they approach dealerships for their concerns?
Yeah, definitely for all our customers, of course, we want you all to be safe. Safety is our priority. If ever you visit our dealership, we would like to request for additional understanding and patience, as we will be implementing all the guidelines that is set by the DOH, the Department of Health, and IATF to make sure that your safety is our priority. Additional inspection or checks, mask just needed. But when it comes to your vehicle requirement, we're here to serve you. We're ready to serve you now. All our dealerships are open, at least with 50% capacity. So you can go and visit our dealership for check out any vehicle you want. Of course, please limit your numbers at the most 2 if you would like to visit the dealership. Check our website, check online what our products are. And if you'd like to go and visit, please set an appointment, especially to our service. Appointment is being emphasized right now, and it's highly encouraged so that you can avoid mass gatherings also in our showrooms. So I hope everyone stays safe, and we will get through this, and I'm sure we will all drive again.
Now, I know it's late in Pennsylvania. What time is it there currently?
12:27 p.m.
Okay, so I'll let you go. I'll let you sleep. Thank you very much for the sacrifice for coming on air with us middle of the day here in the Philippines. Alvin Dalida, the first Vice President for Marketing and Sales Division of Mitsubishi Motors Philippines Corporation. Thank you again, Alvin, for the time.
Thank you very much, Eric, for having me here today. Yeah.
And for those of you who are watching us right now, if you have comments, please put it on the section below. If you want to suggest any topics, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Eric Tipan from Zig Wheels Philippines, and this has been Editor Sessions.